Hey guys, James here, and I get to continue being excited. Next up, I'm recording this ahead of time, by the way, so there might be edits in this that actually show what I'm talking about. But next time on Death Battle is the matchup we've known since December. Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls versus Discord from My Little Pony. I am very excited. I don't know if I'm as excited as I was with Guts versus Dimitri, but I am still very excited with this. When this got announced at the end of Gogeta versus Vegito, after I had the cool expression the whole time throughout the episode, until I got really giddy about seeing what won the 2D poll, because let's be honest, we all knew Colex would win the 3D poll. I was very excited when Bill versus Discord was announced. When we got Bill on screen, I was like, yes! I didn't vote for Bill vs. Discord. I did vote for Ori vs. the Knight, but Bill vs. Discord was one of the ones I would have been very happy with winning, and it is what won. So I am very, very excited about that, and that we're getting this. I'm excited for that. That's the point. I absolutely adore Gravity Falls. I've seen the whole series I think 3 times by now, 2 in recent years. And My Little Pony is not a franchise I'm super ooper duper familiar with. I did, around December, January, I did go through and watch all the episodes of My Little Pony with Discord in them. I didn't really want to watch the whole show, not because I think it's bad. I actually had a fun time with what I did watch. Excuse me. It's just that it's a very long series. Well, not a very long. It's about, 10 seasons? I kind of mapped it out, assuming I spent 8 hours a day watching the show. It would have taken me 8 weeks to finish, and I didn't want to do that, and that was not including the My Little Pony movie, which I have not seen yet. I don't know if I will. But yeah, I really did like what I watched of My Little Pony with Discord, and maybe one day I will sit down and watch the rest of the series. I don't know. But I'm super excited for this, and I love Bill. He's one of my favorite villains. He's a super fun antagonist. Discord was really fun, my favorite part of My Little Pony, even though I just watched his episodes. And I am excited for this matchup. I'm excited for this episode. So, also, real quick, I do want to say this. Anyone remember when, I'm not going to say the username, but someone on Twitter just made a ban petition for this matchup when it was announced to be on the poll? That's kind of funny. I feel like that helped push this matchup into winning the ballot overall. So, maybe that was his goal all along, I don't know. But where are the connections for Bill and Discord? Well, they are both ancient, chaotic, godlike beings, or outright gods, who are reality warping villains. I have a thing right here, and both their goals was to rain chaos upon the world. After they were freed from a long imprisonment and were defeated by a group effort of estranged siblings, which resulted in them being turned to stone. I'm half memory, half reading this thing. They're also defeated by a group, but the methods of defeating them was undone. Oh, they were almost defeated by a group, but their methods were undone by a participant in that group, the key members of the group. And they transformed iconic towns of Gravity Falls and Equestria. Is that the name of the town, or is that the country? Ponyville. It's called Ponyville. Those towns into lands of chaos once they were freed. And as a little bonus, while Bill stayed a villain throughout Gravity Falls, Discord became more of a good guy by the end of the series. And there's also a My Little Pony card called Discord Dubious Intent that references it references Bill. So that's fun. And I think the main selling point for this matchup are two things. The animation potential being just about limitless, since they're reality warpers that can do just fucking anything. I'm going to list their abilities in a second. I have the wiki pages up. I'm going to look at those and just read them off before I even start about what I think could happen in the fight. And also the banter. These two are incredibly fun villains. They have a lot of great quotable lines. I think my favorite for Bill is just him laughing and then say, "It's funny how dumb you are." I fucking love that line. I love these characters. I love this matchup. I love that we're getting this. So I feel like those are the two big selling points for this matchup, and I can't agree more. The banter is amazing. You can have, like, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but Bill be like, they're both really jokey at the start. They're playing along with the other's antics, and while Discord continues being a jokester and gives Bill a hard time, Bill can just get more and more pissed off throughout the fight. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. What are their abilities? Well, what have they shown with their abilities? Because their abilities are fucking limitless, basically. But what have we been shown with their abilities? Well, as soon as this loads, I might cut this time out. There's a cut there. But Bill can warp reality and, like, fucking just change the use of somebody's face. All the holes on their face. Alter his size, shapeshift, create appendages, duplicate himself, summon a giant screaming head, object creation, gravity manipulation, precognition, encyclopedic knowledge, what the hell's that word? Retrocognition, dream manipulation, sleep inducement, teleportation, paralysis inducement, and then he also has time manipulation, though it's more so he can alter how some things move in time. It's weird. He can go into the mindscape. He can fly, which that's given. Telekinesis, possession, astral projection, force field creation, petrification, regeneration, transmutation, phasing, mimicry, matter manipulation, fire manipulation, electricity manipulation, weather manipulation, a fucking literal finger gun, electric beams, existence erasure, entrapment, illusion creation, and then with Weirdmageddon, which I have a lot to say about Weirdmageddon later on. That looks fucking stupid. But he has the weirdness bubbles and the weirdness waves. I'm super excited for that. Now, what the fuck does Discord have? Now, Bill has about... Bill had 6 episodes, and Discord was in the show since the start of season 2. So Discord, there's going to be a lot more here, but he has reality warping, he has shape-shifting, size manipulation, duplication, appendage creation, object creation, summoning, that's summoning, yeah. Encyclopedic knowledge, gravity manipulation, sleep inducement and memory manipulation, mind control, teleportation, dimensional portal creation, to like a fucking sock puppet world, time manipulation, those more so moving the sun and the moon back and forth, time travel from a manga of My Little Pony that exists apparently. He has a time machine for whatever reason. Omniversal travel. He has the chaos dimension. There's a mindscape he can go into. Flight, obviously. Telekinesis. Astral projection, where he just becomes a ghost. Object possession. a force field creation, regeneration, because like, you're kind of a Toon Force dude, transmutation, petrification, phasing, mimicry, spatial manipulation, matter manipulation, fire manipulation, water manipulation, plot manipulation, also from the manga, disease manipulation, weather manipulation, energy projection, a super sneeze when he's sick. Oh wait, I don't think he was actually sick that episode, he was faking it. Existence erasure, explosive chocolate milk, which I want to see in the fight just because that would be funny. He can become a Ghostbuster and steal spirits away, fucking apparently. Illusion creation, madness inducement, and his chaotic wasteland. Now, there's a bit of a misconception these two are fourth wall breakers. From what I've seen, both only have one instance of breaking the fourth wall. With Bill, it's in the intro of Weirdmageddon. And for Discord, it's just a little gag. Excuse me. So they're probably still going to have him break the fourth wall anyway, and as long as they go apeshit berserk with this, I will be okay with it. So, also another thing real quick before we get into the actual fight. I have a bit more expectations with this episode, because this is one that people quite literally paid to see. I think it's a bit more fair to have a bit higher expectations than usual for an episode like this, because this is a matchup that we picked, and they want to make this as best as they can for the people that literally paid money to see the episode. And the same will probably go for Colex, and I will try to get back to Colex later, because I have some things I want to specifically say about that, kind of more so like when we might see it, assuming it doesn't get announced by the time I upload this video. But what do I hope to see from the fight? Well, we did get a trailer, or not really a trailer, but more of a, I wouldn't really call it a sneak peek either. I guess like a way to hype up the episode. In the Death Battle cast for the Hoenn Starter Royale, they played a bit of a... After the second sneak peek for Silver Surfer versus Martian Manhunter, they played a bit of... Like, they had the two characters talk to each other, kind of announcing Bill versus Discord is next, and also the ballots are back open for fans to choose in episode 4, season 11. Which I'm pushing All Might vs. Coral Sensei, and if anyone wants to help with that, I will not complain. But that aside, I don't know if that's going to be the setup, because they do kind of shit talk each other for during it. But I feel like my hypothetical setup here, because like you can do anything with this fight. I imagine it's going to take place in Gravity Falls, because Bill can't leave Gravity Falls. Discord just sleeping in a hammock in the woods. Discord will fit right in with Gravity Falls. And Bill enters into Discord's stream, Mindscape, and goes into one of Discord's dreams or one of his memories. And this part takes place in Ponyville. So we can have the fight starts out in Ponyville. And maybe Bill could offer because Bill, with his encyclopedic knowledge, can possibly know that Discord is also a man that loves chaos. So he tries to make a deal with him. But Discord, being also a man of chaos, he can see right past through Bill's bullshit. Also considered the fact that he did trick other people, other villains. So it could happen. And the fight kind of starts there. Just what I mainly want is for them to go all out with it. You can maybe have them both use, like, kind of start simple with them using, like, fire manipulation. Bill uses, like, electricity. Just, like, start a little basic, but then go right into the chaotic field that we love these two for. With or actually, I just remembered this. you can maybe have just introduce Bill to Discord by him just telekinetically grabbing a random pony's teeth and just offering to him like he did to Gideon with the deer teeth. I don't know, just scare the kids. I want to scare the children. But anyway, like, start of the fight, just have them kind of just a lot of just reality shifting, have Discord like open up the fabric of the world, knowing it's a fucking dream or some shit. And just it's really hard to pinpoint how this fight can go, because it could go fucking any way imaginable. There's a lot of reality warping, and just it's very chaotic. About halfway through the fight, Bill kind of gets more annoyed with Discord, who's just like mainly fucking around throughout. Like, they're both fucking around, but Bill is getting more angry and annoyed with Discord, to where the fight starts to go out of the dreamscape as Discord wakes up, and we do see Bill floating in the air and starts to summon Weird Mageddon, have the weirdness bubbles, the weirdness wave, and it looks very... Gravity Falls, once again, looks like how it did during Weird Mageddon in the show. It's a very chaotic landscape, and Discord's all for this. This shit's powering him up. We'll get to that later when I talk about the debate, which... oh boy. Anyways, just Weird Mageddon, you can have them duplicate themselves and their clones fight, have the weirdness bubbles, and they go into the weirdness bubbles, which gives the animation style to change from what will probably be sprites, because it won the 2D poll that was most likely just going to be sprites anyways, to different hand-drawn styles in the weirdness bubbles. Kind of like how in the show, when the characters went in the weirdness bubbles, it looked very different. The art style changed very much. And you can kind of reference that. Maybe you could also have a little gag where you got like little Funko Pop figures of the two fucking fighting. That would be funny. That would be cool. Just go ape shit with the animation. And I want them to just go all out with their powers. And maybe as well, throughout the fight, Discord's own Chaos Realm, or Chaotic Wasteland, starts to creep up and begin to overtake Weird Mageddon, to where they're clashing a lot more. They're two different versions of weirdness and chaos. Just add that shit. That would be great to see. And Bill starts to like grow more and more in size. Kind of make him look like how he did when he was gonna murder Mabel and Dipper in Weird Mageddon Part 3. Excuse me, or Part 4 on Disney Plus, because for some reason they split that in 2 parts. I don't fucking know why. Anyways, just this big, angry, hulking beast. Maybe also have Discord grow in size as well, make it a bit of a kaiju fight in Gravity Falls. That would be kind of cool. Just them going out all out. Like, Bill is just done fucking around. He wants to just get rid of Discord. And like they're two different forms of chaotic wastelands are colliding with each other, starting to overtake each other. Have the explosive chocolate milk for the shits and giggles. And for verdicts, with the outcome, if Bill wins, I don't remember the one I had set up for if Bill wins. Let me pull that up. It loads. We might be right back. If Bill wins, he starts to get the upper hand as he tries to go in for the kill on Discord. He could petrify all the little extra Discord clones created in the fight, with the Bills kind of becoming one maybe to fight, to just go up against the single Discord left, the main Discord. And also maybe shattering the other Discords. And he turns the main Discord into gold, uses them as a back scratcher before breaking Discord into pieces. That could look cool. And then just Bill laughing, floating as Weird Mageddon takes over Discord's chaotic wasteland, showing that Bill had truly won. And if Discord wins, just have him keep fucking around with Bill. Have Bill maybe try to use his existence erasure on Discord, and it makes Bill think he won at first, but Discord comes back as a spirit, turns back to normal. Maybe you can have him visually manipulate the plot to his victory, turning Bill into a stone statue, him kind of looking pretty similar to how he did in the end of the show. Or do that, and have him take a bite out of Bill, kind of making a joke of Bill being a Dorito, and using Bill's cane or his top hat as a toothpick. It's a vor death, but it'd be kind of creative. And who wins? Yeah. I mentioned this in a few places. I think it's fine if I mention it here. But on the official Death Battle Discord, for every episode announced, they open a chat for that matchup. And Bill vs. Discord and Cold vs. Alex, that was started right away when the episodes were announced at the end of Gogeta vs. Vegito in the spoiler section. The team, or the mod specifically, they had to close down the good chat for Bill vs. Discord because the debate got toxic and nobody could behave themselves. And they reopened it when Discord was announced in the Yuji vs. Denji Death Battle cast, and told people to behave themselves. And y'all remember the very simple days when everyone just kind of agreed that Discord won? Good times. I like that this is debatable. I just wish people would be more civil about it. I have noticed it go to, not be as bad as it was before, but I might very well be missing something, and it's actually back to being, oh god. So, what are the arguments? Well, what was the Bill arguments? Let's look at that first, because Bill comes first in the title. What were the arguments for Bill? Well, it was 11D Bill. Now, where does 11D Bill come from? What does 11D Bill mean? 11-dimensional scaling for Bill? Where does that come from? Around the time the episode was announced, I heard it came from something with Amphibia and Rick and Morty. I might have heard that wrong, because I don't ever recall seeing that again. But from looking at threads talking about 11D Bill, which a lot of them link to other threads, which those threads are now gone, so I might be missing something. And if you will correct me on it, please be civil about it, because everything I found comes from the Gravity Falls books, the journals, which I don't own. So, where does 11D Bill come from with these? From what I can find, 11D Bill comes from a statement of aliens in the series that are scared of Bill, and these aliens could alter, or they fixed the space-time continuum and considered Bill a multiversal threat. Now that sounds alright, though I'm not exactly sure how this is 11-dimensional. This is multiversal, yes, but how exactly is it 11-dimensional? 11D is high complex multiversal. That is kind of a pretty big jump from just regular multiversal. Now you could argue Bill, via the aliens being scared of Bill, he could upscale from that, but that wouldn't really be that high. It wouldn't be much higher. I'm assuming that's where the logic of it being 11D comes from, but there is a counter-argument to these, at least from what I could find, a counter-argument to the aliens being 11-dimensional. I would agree. Being that these are the same aliens that we can see the crashed ship in Gravity Falls near the end of the series, and I think the episode is called Dipper and Maple versus the Future. where that was the spaceship that the aliens lived in. And in the journals, it says that when the spaceship crashed, the surviving aliens would later die out, which that implies that some aliens did die in the crash. Something that really shouldn't be, like something like that shouldn't kill an 11th dimensional being. A simple crash. That would kill us, certainly, but not something of an 11th dimensional scale. That seems to be the argument for 11D Bill and the counter-argument against 11D Bill. So let's see, where does Discord fall into? Where does he scale? Well, he could beat both Princess Celestia and Princess Luna at the same time. And he should be on par or stronger than the elements of not magic. The elements of harmony. So where does that get to? The elements of harmony should be on par with the fucking horse gods, Luna and Celestia. Celestia and Luna can manipulate and affect the dreams of the entirety of Equestria. And the dreams are described infinite in size with different door, like it's if an infinite hallway with doors in them that can, and basically an infinite amount of doors that can lead into different possible timelines depending on every pony's action. So that would essentially make an infinite system here. And Celestia was able to combine a town and town's worth of these dreams into one big dream, essentially creating a multiverse. So maybe even also making that be Multiversal Plus. And Discord should upscale since he could beat both Celestia and Luna at the same time. So it seems like the argument is either you find Bill to be 11D, which would make him stat stomp Bill, or Discord, but if you don't, Discord should just stat stomp Bill. And speed-wise, there's also not really anything to talk about with Bill. Excuse me. Gravity Falls doesn't really have anything for speed. Bill never really... We don't really see anything for Bill that would involve speed. Discord, on the other hand, there was a speed thing I remember seeing. What was it? Okay, yeah, Discord flew so fast, he went backwards in time. So we don't really have anything for speed with Bill, while Discord has gone so fast, he went back in time. But it wouldn't matter if Bill is actually 11D. But another thing I want to talk about that I did mention earlier is that Bill is essentially a living battery for Discord. What do I mean by this? Discord is powered by chaos. Chaos is what makes him stronger. It's what fucking powers his chaos magic. That's literally what it's fucking called. At least from what I can tell. And with Bill being all about chaos and weirdness, he would just be adding fuel to the flame for Discord to basically get stronger. Let alone with Discord's cloning, which doesn't really seem like it hinders him at all, and Bill also cloning himself, that's just adding more and more. And then you get Weird Mageddon just expanding that shit by 1,000. So yeah, that's kind of the thing. So Bill, now are we gonna argue that Discord can jump from Multiversal Plus to 11D via this type of hacks? It's a bit, like I said with the alien scaling, that's a big jump. I'm not entirely sure you could fully argue that, so I won't. But Bill would be essentially powering up Discord throughout the whole fight, while Bill would not be getting any sort of enhancements like this for himself. So, yeah. An 11D Bill seems kind of shaky, considering the arguments that, at least I've seen so far, don't really argue 11-dimensional, but is multiversal. Or I believe that's like 4D, 5D, I think, maybe. I don't know. One of those two. So, yeah. I'm rooting for Bill here. Another thing I actually wanted to add, Bill was also physically affected by things that should not be able to affect a multiversal being, and this is pretty consistent. In the Mindscape, the episode he was introduced, Seuss, Mabel, and Dipper, as soon as they learned that they could basically do anything within the Mindscape, they overpowered Bill pretty easily and beat him. Also, Bill has eye lasers. I just remembered that. That's not in the wiki. Bill has eye lasers. But they're able to overpower Bill pretty easily within the Mindscape. And they just learned about this ability. And in Weirdmageddon, they Bill's eye was basically fucked up like twice. The first was the dinosaur from the Shacktron ripping out his eye, and the second time was Mabel using fucking spray paint on his eye, which did visibly affect him. So it's kind of hard to argue him being a multiversal being when we have multiple examples of times where he was kind of overpowered by things that really shouldn't have. Specifically, the eye things in Weirdmageddon. And they both do have force fields. Bill even activated his when Dipper was gonna punch him in the eye. But concerning the fact that it didn't activate when his eye was attacked the 2 other times, I think it is safer to say that he has to physically activate it and both times it was when he was caught off guard, but with Discord being likely faster than Bill, yeah, I feel like he would be able to get that attack on the eye specifically before Bill can make that force field to protect himself. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping the comments below, if there are any, will be civil about this. But in conclusion, in my opinion, I think Discord should win. I think Discord should win the debate. This is just going to be up to if Death Battle buys 11D Bill. I do think there's more arguments to be made for Discord here. So while I am rooting for Bill, I absolutely fucking love him. He's one of my favorite villains, and I'll be excited if he wins. I'm betting on Discord here. I don't know, I think he just has the better arguments here, and 11D Bill seems a bit too shaky, in my opinion. And where does Bill versus Discord fall into the Cipher? Everyone kind of just agreed it's the question mark, and speaking of Cipher, since this matchup is basically why we got the Cipher, let's take a look at that Cipher real quick, at least my personal thoughts on what each symbol could mean. I'm going to cut and be right back once I have the Cipher up. Okay, the Death Battle Cipher, here it is. And here are what I currently think each episode is. For Ant-Man vs. the Atom, I think it is the Atom. Pretty obvious. For Chosen Undead vs. Dragonborn, I think it is the Clash Swords. Again, pretty obvious why I think that. For Killua vs. Misaka, I find that to be the Pentagon. The Pentagon is on Killua's yo-yos in the anime, and in the symbol for magic in a certain magical index is the pentagram. I might have said pentagon. Pentagram. For Stitch vs. Rocket, I'm currently thinking the wave going by the trailer's beam, and the space can be seen as a sea of stars, and Hawaii for Stitch. Yeah, I don't think it's the beacon or the flask. Excuse me. Vader versus Obito, I think that's the Lotus or the Sita Chakra thing, because it means, I don't remember what it means, but basically, it fits Vader, like, what its named meaning, I don't remember what it is. I will put up a thing right here, explaining it. It fits Vader and Obito, so I'm kind of going along these sides of that's Vader versus Obito. The Lotus is Vader versus Obito. For the Phoenix versus Raven, I think that's the Yin Yang, because the Phoenix Force has been described as a Yin and Yang. So, and also Raven's whole story is balancing the evil listener and wanting to be a good guy. For Guts versus Dimitri, I'm on the side that it is the recycling, because instead of it being a recycling, it's a cycle, since these two are in a cycle of violence throughout most of their story. And a cycle of violence and vengeance, as well as not escaping their demons. For Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer, I find that to be the Star. It's really the only one that makes sense. They're both from space, so Star makes sense. And Bill versus Discord, I think this is the question mark. A question mark fits these two pretty damn well, because they're both chaotic. They're fucking reality warpers. That raises a lot of questions. And also in Gravity Falls, the question mark does kind of play a role quite often, being the symbol for Zeus, as well as one of the symbols that's outright on Discord's, not Discord's, the Bill's own Cipher in the series. So I feel like this is pretty likely the Bill versus Discord's question mark. And Cole versus Alex, since that's the only other matchup we know, I feel like that's the Flask, because both of these two were made in scientific ways, and these spikes around the Flask could be very similar to the spiked shell that's around viruses that basically makes it so they can grow and adapt to antiviruses. And what is Alex? A living virus. So yeah, I feel like that's most likely the Flask instead of Stitch versus Rocket. And then I'm not really going to go over the sidebars, but the first one, I think that is Kilo versus Misaka. Second one, I don't remember. What the fuck was the second one again? Oh yeah, second one, Guts versus Dimitri. Third one, I don't think we're at yet. Fifth one, Chosen Undead versus Dragonborn. And the fifth one, I could have sworn we've been at the wherever the fifth one is, if I already have it, if I already think I know what it is, and we have that matchup already, right here. Yeah. Anyways, while we're on the topic, Cole versus Alex. When is that matchup be happening? Most were speculating that Bill versus Discord would happen in the last 4 episodes. And while my first prediction video did have it as episode 1, that was more so just a random guess. And once we got the finalized season date of when when this season was returning, I kind of saw the earliest we could possibly get it is as episode 9, which that turned out to be true. Sorry. So that raised the question, when are we getting Cole versus Alex? That is easily the matchup more people are excited for, since that was the one that had the biggest push throughout the whole waiting period of that ballot. And personally, I think Cole versus Alex might be soon. Maybe not the next episode. I feel like it could either be episode 11, which would be right before Halloween, or the episode right after Halloween, episode 13. Why do I think this? I think Cole vs. Alex, they might take a bit more extra time on, because that was the one that had the big push. That was the one that the community almost collectively came together to push for. Or at least say, like, I am voting for this matchup on the 3D side, but I will also support Cole vs. Alex. So I feel like they're going to have a bit extra time on that one just to give it that extra touch, in my opinion. Because, again, that was also one that a lot of people paid to see. I feel like we will get it soon. It just might be a tad bit longer. And I am fine with that. But I am super excited for Bill versus Discord. I'm hopefully going to be able to edit this. Otherwise, I just look like a complete dumbass throughout way too much of this. But that aside, I'm excited for this episode. I'm so glad we're getting this. This will probably be MLP's last episode and Gravity Falls only episode because, like, who the fuck else is in Gravity Falls to bring on? And MLP has, like, no other matchups. There is T-Rick versus Moro, I think it's called, but I don't think that's too likely. But I'm excited for this. I really hope this is a good episode, and yeah. Peace.